Right. Well, hello, everyone. I just want to give a brief introduction here. I have Agatha Beier with me today, and we're super excited to have her. She's one of our more recent graduates, not only of IUPUI, but of CSF as well. And personally, to me, one of my old basketball teammates too. So I have a little bit of a connection there, but super excited to have you on our kind of alumni interview, Ags.
Yeah, well, thank you for asking me to do this. I'm super excited and it's always good to see you.
Oh, likewise. Well, again, super excited to have you. I guess just kind of starting off, what have you been up to since graduating?
Yeah, so I will say the week before I graduated, I took my EMT certification exam and passed. So I am a new EMT. And
Congratulations.
then, thank you. And then after graduation, I moved back to my home in Des Moines, Iowa. And I spent my first 3 weeks after graduation studying for my MCAT exam. And that was really not fun. I woke up, I think, at 5 every morning and probably studied till like 7 every day, or at least tried to. Yeah, it was a grind for sure. But I took that on June 4th. I'm still waiting for my results. I think I have a couple weeks left. And then I think it was like 2 days after I took my exam, I flew down to Dallas to visit my sister. She recently moved there last August, and I spent a week with her, and it was so much fun. I loved it down there, but really, really hot. I was sweating a lot. If anyone knows me, that's not uncommon, but it was really a good time just to see her and spend time with her. And since I've been back, I've really just been spending time with friends and family that I've been away from for so long. So it's been really nice.
Well, that's really good. And I know from a basketball standpoint, it can definitely take a lot of time and energy, kind of into that. So that's really great to hear that you've had that time to really spend with family. And I know how important not only family is, but your sister is in kind of your relationship with her. So that's really awesome that you got to go visit her as well. Um, and congratulations on EMT. Again, I'll say it again. I think that's awesome. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
of
I
course.
never imagined myself doing that.
Hey, God kind of creates our paths in ways that we can't really explain sometimes. So I think that's awesome.
Yes, for sure.
So I guess just kind of diving in, how did you get involved with CSF?
Funny you ask. You actually, my freshman year, you had asked me and a couple of the other freshmen, I believe. It's so long ago, I feel like, but you asked us to go to a night of worship, and there we met Andrew, and I mean, the rest is kind of history. Whenever we had the opportunity to go, we always went to the nights of worship, and then soon after hearing about the life groups, I joined one, and ever since then, I was in one or leading one or, whatever worked out. And yeah, it was great. I'm really glad I joined my freshman year because it probably would have taken another year or two just to find something where I could get connected and grow. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. I just wanted to share it. So I'm just grateful that you all said yes at that time too. And to see where CSF has grown is just incredible too. And to watch your path through it from just being involved and going to nights of worship to attending like life groups to leading life groups to then actually being a part of kind of the executive leadership team there. That's just awesome to see that growth and improvement and be able to share more of Jesus with more college students as well. Awesome. So I guess just even a larger question for you, but how has God, caused your faith in Jesus to collide with your everyday life? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people know this, but I always take on more than I should. And I often found myself being really overwhelmed and like every hour of the day I was doing something or trying to do something. And just reflecting on my, I guess, collegiate career, I'm like amazed at what I was able to do because I feel like right now I would not be able to do that again. But I know that God definitely had his hand in the work that I was doing, and he gave me the energy to wake up every day and to do it, and gave me the passion for everything I did. And that's just one way. And also after graduating, it's like super exciting, you passed another milestone in life, but then I'm kind of like stressing out a little bit, like what do I do next, and I think I have a plan, but we all know that things don't always go as planned. um, so I've just been trying my best to place my trust in the Lord's plan for me and the path that he has set out for me. And it's like a everyday struggle. I mean, even in the small things, like, is this what I really should be doing today? Or, is this going to help me down the road? I don't know. But when I get there, when I look back, I know that he was guiding me and helping me through that every day. So,
Oh, that's awesome. I feel like something I'm going through, or that probably a lot of people listening to this are going through as well too. Whether they're, still in college, or maybe have someone that is going through college, or someone that's going through a difficult time, whatever that might look like, just fully leaning into your faith and trusting that. Because sometimes God likes to
mhm.
answer in very unique ways that we don't always understand. But I can definitely
Yes.
say, at least just personally knowing you, you always had a smile on your face, and that truly is, sometimes one of the hardest things to do in those really difficult situations. So that is something, at least, that I always recognized within you, and just how strong your faith was during those times. So I think that can hopefully help someone else that is either listening to this or might hear this from somebody else, that sometimes even just having a smile on your face can really help.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh, of course. And kind of a fun question I always like to ask everyone on this, but do you have like a favorite Bible verse, or a chapter or a book out of the Bible that is just something that you always gravitate towards, or through a difficult time you always gravitated towards?
Yeah, I would say the book of Romans.
Mm,
I don't really have a favorite. I love it all. Even there's like verses that are like, what's the word, leading up to other ones that seem very insignificant, but I just find the whole book like full of encouragement, direction. And I don't know, when I'm overthinking or overwhelmed, or even like praising God, like I'm thankful for the stuff that I'm going through, I that's where I go. And I always find something that either relates to what I'm going through, or like is gives encouragement to someone else that I know they're going through something challenging or difficult. So,
mhm. Romans is a really good book. That's
yes.
awesome. That's awesome. I guess kind of tying it back from a CSF perspective, but what would you say was the most valuable lesson out of your 4 years with being with CSF?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I learned a lot. I think the biggest one is who you surround yourself with. Um, I definitely had challenges throughout, one, just my academic career, but also basketball. And um, I think surrounding yourself with people who truly support you, like genuinely support you and want the best for you, and also wanting to see you grow closer to God. I think those two combined, it's just like the perfect combination. Um, I remember before joining CSF, my freshman year, I had prayed and read my Bible like occasionally, just, if I got like a feeling that I hadn't done it in a long time, I would do it. But once I got plugged into a life group and started attending the nights of worship like regularly, I found myself doing it constantly. Like every day I was doing a Bible plan, or I was even urged to read the Bible in a year. Um, and just like talking to God came more naturally. I actually, for a while there, I was keeping like a prayer journal. And that was really beneficial for me because, like I said, I wasn't doing that regularly. And so just surrounding yourself with people who not only encourage you, but also keep you accountable. For me, that's difficult, like being busy and everything, you kind of push it off to the side, which is, it sounds horrible because that should be your first priority every day. But um, I think just encouraging other people, being able to pour yourself into others and them pouring into you, it's a good feeling and also helps you with your relationship with God.
Absolutely. I think God creates us in community for a reason. I think from CSF's perspective, Andrew and the rest of the team that's been there, whether, it's past alumni or current leadership, they're continuing to build and grow that community, which is just really incredible to see how God moves in that way. So I love how you brought that up because it seems like it's really impacted your life. I like the prayer journal that you keep. Do you mind explaining a little bit more what that kind of looks like for you?
Yeah. So depending on the day and the day I'm having, it changes obviously, but sometimes it's really positive, it's what I'm thankful for, praying over other people. And then some days when I'm not having such a good day, it's a little more selfish, I guess you could say. It's more about my struggles and what I need God to do for me. And I guess that's okay because he's flexible, and he's understanding and he's always going to be there for us. But really just, I guess, what I'm going through, what I want my path to look like, even though it might not be what he agrees with. Yeah, really just pouring out whatever's on my heart, heavy or not heavy. So
I think that's great vulnerability too in that relationship that you form with Jesus. Kind of needs to be a little bit of give and take in a sense. He's obviously always there to provide for us, but he knows every struggle that we go through too, even if we feel like we're going through it alone. So I think that's awesome. I honestly might take that up myself. So I'm glad you shared it. No, I love that. And
yeah, sure.
even from kind of diving in from like a more advice standpoint for anyone that, just recently graduated through half COVID, half kind of in person, half virtual, for those fellow individuals that kind of graduated with you or even farther along alumni kind of in their pathway to find Jesus, what piece of advice would, you give those individuals?
Yeah. I would say it's never too late to get back on track. Just recently, because I've been away from CSF, as I mentioned before, I've kind of been out of practice of reading my Bible and talking to God multiple times throughout the day. And I'd say it's never too late. So if you feel like you are just so disconnected from him and not even on the right path, like it's never too late to just pick your Bible up and read, or just sit down and pray for 20 minutes or whatever that may look like for you. I also think because of COVID and being separated, I guess, outside of campus, I always try to think of someone that I haven't talked to in a while and connect with them. I mean, whether that was through CSF or not, just checking in with people, keeping those connections still present. And if that relationship is open to it, you can share, like, I know I like to invite people to do Bible plans with me. One, it helps me stay accountable, but also two, it invites them to open up and also stay on track in their Bible reading. So that would be my advice.
Oh, I think I needed to hear that. So hopefully whoever else is listening to this hears that too. So I think that's really important that, hey, kind of diving back to what we started with, no matter what situation or whatever high or whatever low you're going through, it's never too late to pick up the Bible and just talk to Jesus, like he's sitting right across from you at the table or right next to you on a walk. No, that's, again, I think I needed to hear that. So I'm sure others needed to hear that as well too. I guess, if you could even rewind going back 4.5-ish years ago when you were entering into college, is there any piece of advice that you would give yourself or any, current students in college?
Gosh. Two things. One, I know it's really challenging, especially being freshmen and being so young. Just be vulnerable and open to anything. I think I was kind of, I don't want to say reserved, but kind of like hesitant maybe to open up and just put myself out there in regards to meeting people, taking on different opportunities. And then the second thing I would say is finding a good church. Me, from being out of state, I really had no idea where to go. I remember one of my roommates and I think we went to a different church every week for like 2 months. I don't even know. Like at one point we were driving like 30 minutes to one. But I would say really like either ask around, find one that you really like or that other people really like, but finding a church that you wake up like excited to go to every Sunday or Wednesday or whatever day of the week is super important, I think. And once I found one that I liked there in Indianapolis, I feel like my relationship just grew more and more. So
yeah, that's awesome. No, and I know even us, we kind of attended when I was a senior, kind of on my way out, but really being able to find that church and wake up every Sunday was really nice to have that connection to, and just that opportunity to worship. I think that's another thing that we were created for, was to sing and worship him, no matter how good or bad you probably sound. But hey,
yes, for sure.
He created all of those voices and sounds. And speaking of worship, is there any particular song that you gravitate towards, or anything like right now in the moment that you feel like, oh, this is calling to me, this is just Jesus's music to my heart?
Yes, actually, it's called My Jesus, and I can't remember who it's by right now. Gosh. I don't know, but I think it's kind of new. I don't know. I could be late to the party here, but it's called My Jesus. And the reason I love it so much is the artist talks about telling other people about her Jesus. And that's something I try to live my life like, I guess. In everything I do, I try to find a way to bring up God, to glorify him. And I mean, that's basically the song. And she just says, like, if he can do it for me, he can do it for you. And I think that's so true. No matter how far lost you think you are, like, he's going to find you and he'll bring you out of it, like however deep you are. So I think that song it's just great for everybody, and I really like it. So
I just got chills from that. So and I just looked it up really quickly. It's by Ann Wilson, if that rings a bell.
Okay, thank you.
So, no problem. But I think I saw that you shared that and I listened to it right away. And you very well done kind of explain that, just really sharing to anyone, what Jesus can do for you. I think that's one of the beautiful things about Jesus, is that he can help just about anybody, which I love that. Awesome. Well, it's been really, really good talking to you, Ags. Obviously good really seeing you too. Again, I know I do, as well as everyone else who you've interacted with, both through CSF and outside of that, have been impacted by, you know, Jesus really working through you. So we appreciate everything you've done, again, for the group, for the school itself, and appreciate you taking your time out of your lovely evening to speak with all of us tonight too. It's been good seeing you.
Well, thank you so much. I feel so honored.
Not a problem. And I think too, for everyone listening and for Ags as well, or Agatha here, I believe we're potentially going to be having an alumni event coming up here in the fall. So be on the lookout for that. So if you are able to make it, again, Andrew will be releasing more information soon through a newsletter or email of sorts. So that'll be really fun to also connect with, you know, past CSF individuals too. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Sounds exciting.
I know. Well, thank you again, Agatha. I really appreciate it. And again, can't wait to see where Jesus takes you next.
I'm looking forward to it too. Thank you.
All right, thanks.